G'day guys, you're back with Miracle Max. Today in the lab we have a Samsung tablet that's done a gutser. She's got a swollen battery that's pushed the screen completely off its frame. It's a dangerous situation that needs attention. Let's get into it. Swollen lithium batteries can be a very dangerous item. If they're swollen and the gases release, then that can be toxic fumes let out into the environment. But also, if it shorts out inside, it can start a fire. Those fires can be very difficult to put out. So let's get this thing sorted. This particular tablet is used in an automotive spare parts place for the employees to log on and log off as they come and go to work. But this is normally left on charge, and generally speaking it wouldn't be an issue if the system is working correctly. With these later model ones, they have a charging circuit inside which will cut off the current as soon as it gets up to full charge. But in this particular case they leave it on all the time, and it's started to swell. As you can see, it's not a happy situation there. It's actually quite dangerous. So much so, look, the back section here, can I show you that? That's actually swollen as well. The back cover is swollen, and of course it's actually pushed off the front screen. The screen is held in with adhesive, and in this particular case the battery is swollen so much it's forced it off its frame. Just in case you guys are curious, this particular model is an SM-T280. Normally, to do a battery on one of these, we just pop off the back cover here and we can access the battery as well as the connector in the back here, but unfortunately it's pushed the whole screen off, so I might have to put some adhesive around here to push the back screen, or to push the screen back into place. But my major concern is to pull off this battery safely, or get it out of the road safely, because I don't want any toxic fumes or fire, of course. So it's going to be a bit of a delicate thing to try and get this off. First of all, if there's an SD card in there, we need to remove that. As I said, they only use the basic features on this tablet, so there's no actual SD card in there to worry about. So firstly, we've got to get in behind this back cover here, just gently remove that. They're held in place by clips, so the whole thing will just clip off, in theory. I might just point that battery away from myself actually, just in case. Who knows, eh? Don't want to go up in flames. So we'll just, oh, another thing too, make sure that the tablet is turned off, which I believe it is in this case. No, it's not. I need to turn it off. As you can see, the tablet is still operational. In actual fact, you can see that the battery has got 60% charge, despite the fact that it looks like it's ready to give birth. So I just need to turn that tablet completely off, make sure that it's in the off state. Power him off. Good. It's now turned off, and I can safely disassemble it and remove that troublesome battery. So I'm just going to try and get in behind the cover there somehow. And of course it makes it hard because this is so swollen. It's going to be tight to try and undo as well. These usually come off fairly easy actually. Done a few of them where they pop off nicely, but this little guy doesn't want to. It's a little bit on the tight side. Doiga. Just get one bit started, and then the rest should come off, of course. Just be careful around buttons, etc. You don't want to damage any of the ribbon cable when you pull it off. So it's not a bad idea just to start there. Whoops, almost got him. Try down on another corner, away from some buttons. Oh man, that feels tight. Once you get the first one crack-a-lacking, it's not too bad. This is a tough one, this one. It's so swollen that it's stretched it over the frame, and therefore it's holding the clips in place a lot tighter than normal, I believe. There we go. So you can see I've just got it under there, so I'll use some other ones to try and slide it along. You don't want to damage the clips. I've seen other videos where they've just dragged this tool right along and they've actually damaged all the clips and had to glue the back cover on. We don't want to do that. Like that. Okay, so now I've got my plastic tool in there. I feel a little more confident to move along. Just be careful once this is in here. You don't want to, accidentally break any of the clips, etc. So just gently move your way along and you'll hear the clips come away from it. just like that, nice and gentle. Plastic tools I always prefer because you're not going to short anything out, of course. And just a little bit of a wiggle and a jiggle, and those clips should come off schnicely. Like I said, I saw one guy grab this and drag it all the way along, and he broke all the clips in there. Don't know how this is going to go back on, being swollen like that, but we'll find out when we get to that particular point. Just try and go around the corner. Nice clicky noises. And these are not breaking, they're just being dislodged, so that's a good thing. Man, that was a tight one, that one. Okay, I've got the back cover off now. There's a bit of tape, double-sided tape here that needs to be held into place, so we need to make sure that that doesn't get damaged at all. Check out the battery, hey? Oh, dude, like I said, it's about to give birth. I was a bit concerned about having to pull it off because you pull this tab here and you yank it out to pull it or dislodge it off the front screen because it's sort of glued on, but I don't think we're going to have trouble with that. Look at that, man, that is scary. So yes, that is the battery. I don't believe that there will be any other issues because we can see that it's swollen this side as well as the inside, and I think that screen should go down fine. I might have to put some double-sided tape in there once it's in place, but I'll order this battery pack. I'll get a genuine one, or genuine replacement one, not a cheap nasty one. I've spoken to the customer about that already, and he wants a decent quality one. Alright, so we'll pull that off now.
Well, it's not going to hurt you, is it? It's not going to explode and hurt you?
Well, I hope not. That's my goal. Worry not, little one.
Yeah.
Where's the fire extinguisher? Okay, so we need to get rid of this battery, but firstly we need to lift a piece of tape that's over here that holds down or covers the tab that we need to lift up. So we just need to get a pair of tweezers and carefully pull up that sticker that's holding down the tab. So we'll just get under there and just gently lift that up and get that out of place. Of course, that's got to go back on afterwards. We'll just stick it there. Of course, using a spudger like this to lift up that little hinge section of the terminal is better than using tweezers because there's no chance of short circuit. We now need to lift up that ribbon cable next. Just get that battery up out the road. Of course, it's no longer stuck there. We don't have any trouble with that. We'll just carefully maneuver that ribbon cable out of the connector there. There we go. So you can see this here ribbon cable just needs to be moved backwards. Those little lines will line up with that singular line there, and that will indicate that it's fully located when we put it back into place. So I'll just get that out for now. Okay, let's take that battery out and put it in a sealed container, ready to be taken away. Despite it being a fairly busy time of the year, I've got my parcel, and you know it's genuine because it's got little kitty cats on the stamps. Let's pull that out and have a look. Ooh, nice. Now look, I'd be surprised if it was genuine, guys, but it certainly looks a lot healthier than the one that I have pulled out. It doesn't have Samsung written on it anywhere, made in China, but who knows, could come out the same factory. How does it compare with the old one? As mentioned, I've been storing this outside in a sealed container until I can dispose of it properly. But let's have a look at how swollen it is by comparison. That there is scary by comparison. Hey, if you have a look down the bottom of the swollen one, you can see where it's all blistered and stretched. Look at that. Stretched something chronic. So I'm being very careful with it, and I'll put it back in its little container. I just wanted to show you this one in comparison with the new one, so I had to wait for the new one to turn up, of course. But that there is, yeah, past its abuse by date, hey. So let's put the new one in and get this puppy up and running. So let's head back inside and have a little bo peep at what we have to change. Now our battery, our new battery of course, just has to fit into place over here like a DOS, and it's going to fit into this connector over here. We've got to lift up that little latch of course, then put our plastic back into place. Not a hard thing to do. Just keep in mind that the home button is missing on this one. You can see here the problem was that I spoke to the shop owner and he said, oh, that thing's long gone, you know, it would have been swept up by the cleaners or something along those lines, and he said they don't worry about it, they just use the on button on the side to activate the screen, so that should be good enough, I'm hoping. So we might just leave the home button out, because I'll be damned if I can find one, because it appears that they're just a pressure style, like a piezo style, as opposed to a conductive style, capacitance style. So I'll find out. I'll hook up my battery first and see what happens. So just a matter of placing our battery where it belongs, I hope. What the hell? It appears to be wider. Doesn't appear to be the right one. Even though I've ordered the right part, it's wider in the width, and this plug over here doesn't appear to be in the right position. It should be a little bit further over here. If we physically look at the size difference, it is quite different. You can see the width, it's a little bit wider over there. And where's our connector? Our connector, as you can see, is not exactly in the right spot over here. It doesn't quite line up properly. So I'm not sure that they've given me the right part. So here is the site that I've been working with, Oz Batteries, and to be quite honest, apart from the whole postal saga, these guys have been really good to deal with. They admitted their mistake straight away, they sent out the new battery straight away, and they kept in contact with me along the way. So I would recommend them. Not sponsored of course, but they have done the right thing by me, so thumbs up to you guys. While it has been over a month since I purchased the original battery, the incorrect one, I've now received something through the mail, and I'm hoping that it's the correct one. This one here is labelled Tab A SM-T. Don't know what that means. That's just their stock number, I assume, or their part number. Let's see if it's correct or not. Okay, so it's got to fit into that cavity there, of course, and that is where my connector is, and that goes into there. So let's see if it... Oh, look at that, mate. Look at it. Beautiful. Fits exactly right. The connector looks right as well. It's now not that hard to finish the job off. We simply need to lift that latch again in case it's fallen down, and slide that connector, or that wiring connector, in there. That might be a bit of a wiggle and a jiggle. There it goes. And of course you can see that white line on there too. That's pretty important. That white line needs to go right up against that other white line just below it. So we force him in like that. Very happy with that. And push our latch down. That should hold it in place. That cable should sit down nicely like that. And of course we can get that little bit of green sticky stuff that they had on there before and just plonk that over the top so that it helps with the security of the connection. Which is all very fine and good, but does the thing work? Let's flip it over and have a look. Turn him on, hold the button down, and look at that. We've got it coming on. So that's good. I'm happy with that. Hopefully the charger will work on it too. I'll check that shortly. I don't believe that it has a passcode in there at all either. It's just used in the shop, but the battery is now connected correctly. Now that I've connected to my charge port, you can see that the little charge symbol has come up, the little lightning thing there, and we'll make sure that this is at 100% before I hand back to the customer. I've also put some double-sided tape to hold the battery in place. It was there before, but it has in fact lost its stickiness, so I've just got some of this really thin double-sided tape that will hold the battery in place. Next to go on is our back cover facing this way. There's the hole for the camera. There's the camera right there. Now, some of these little locking tabs did in fact break off. We'll see how they go now when we push it back into place. Well, they seem to clip in all right. There we go. Just work your way around and you'll hear them clip, of course. A couple down here that aren't sitting quite right. Oh, there's one there. There we go. Yeah, I'm happy with those. Oh, hang on, there's a couple over here. that I missed. It looks pretty good to me. Yep, all done. So once again, we just power him up, double check our work. We can see it's coming up. Going to clean the face, of course, to make sure that the customer gets a good quality product in return. And just keep in mind, yes, that home button is missing. That's how it was given to me, but they can fire it up just by the power button here, returning to home. There you go, guys, a simple repair on an Samsung Tab SM-T280. I can now hand it back to the customer, confidently knowing that that battery should service them well and it won't be swollen and dangerous for the customer. Hopefully you did get something from the video today that you can put to use, guys, and if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel, give it a like and feel free to comment down below. Don't forget about that notification bell. You don't want to miss any future videos. So guys, until next time, this is Miracle Max. I will catch you later.